Welcome to Smalltalk Daily for Monday, November 3rd, 2008. This morning I thought I'd go through a few more properties of the UI Builder, and I'm going to start going through some of the widgets in particular. Let's take a look at how you build a user interface, and we'll start with something very simple, an action button. So the way you do this is you click on the action button, and then you come down here to the UI, and you click on the UI to drop it. You don't drag it here, you actually click and then click again. Now, I can resize this way, I can pick it up and move it around. Let's just put this kind of in the middle, and we'll take a look at the properties. So over here, I can try putting a title there. Now, if I had a lookup key in a catalog, I'd enter that data here. This is important, the action. So I'll put in here, done, and what that'll do is a couple of things. So here I put in an action of done and an ID of done. Notice how they're both symbols. This is the message that'll be sent when I press the button in a running UI, and this is the ID it'll be given in case I want to modify it at runtime. Let's go on to the next page of properties, details, and over here I get things like should it be bordered, and you'll notice what happens if I hit this. Let's apply it. Notice it becomes an invisible button. That's useful if you want to have something act like a button but maybe not look like a button, so you have some graphic and you want it to be like a click map type of thing. You can make it opaque, you can make it tabbable, you can make it initially disabled or initially invisible. You can change the font on the thing. Normally I leave it with the system default. And then let's go over to position. This is where you specify positions. I've done an entire screencast on this, so I will leave that alone. Flyby help. This is the text that will be supplied when you mouse over it or take your cursor and select it. So you can put default text, the lookup key in catalog if you want that. And then if you scroll over here, you'll find there are things like validation and notification. Typically not that useful for a button. You don't typically need to have validation that a button is valid, and you don't need notification when it's pressed. The method itself is enough. You can change the color, the foreground and background when it's selected or not, and whether it's a drop target, again, not terribly useful for buttons, and that's pretty much it. Now let's go over here and we'll do something to make this run. I'm going to install this. So it's a two-step process to get a UI into a running state. I'm going to hit install, and I'm going to call this my UI, and then I'm going to hit OK. Now it's going to ask me some questions, which I can typically leave with default. Application model is what I want, or I can change it to dialog. I'm going to leave it with application model. I can change the name and the category. This should really be package. It needs to be updated, so I'm going to let that be. And then the second step you want is define. What that'll do is go through and define all the models behind things. In our case, it's just a button, so we'll do that. Now I can do a couple things here. I can browse this and take a look at it, and that'll bring up a hierarchy browser, and you can see I have my UI. It's got nothing here. That's the package. It didn't go into a package, so if I wanted to save this, I'd want to reorganize it. And then under actions, I've got the done method. Now, so we can see that something happens. Let's do this. Dialog, warn, pressed. And I'll hit Control S. Now I'll move that out of the way, and we'll come in here, and to test this, I can always just do open, and I can bring that up. Try me, and there you can see the action happened. So if you want to see that you get in there, I can come in here and I'll put in a breakpoint, move that back out of the way, hit try me, and sure enough, there I am in the debugger, and I can see that I'm right where I expect to be. So that's pretty much it for today. I've gone through the action button and how you do things with it in the canvas. We'll go through some of the other widgets over time. So until next time, have fun with Smalltalk.